All right, what I was trying to say before I got rudely interrupted is that Funko Pops are coming. This is super exciting for us. We've been waiting on a long time to be able to announce this. So right now I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the 4 characters coming to Funko Pops. The Wraith, the Doctor, the Huntress, and Claudette Morel. If you're like me, you're thrilled and you can't wait to get your hands on those. I can tell you, you'll be able to get those before the end of the year. Okay, now that I've shared that and that I've had a moment to calm down, let me officially welcome you to the Dead by Daylight 6th anniversary celebration. We've got an amazing show for you today. We have the whole team ready to share some of the exciting stuff coming. We've got a few surprises in store. We hope you're going to have a good time. Now, last year, our 5th anniversary was all about looking back at the 5 years before. It was a trip down memory lane, and I had a good time for one. Since then, we've hit 50 million players in Dead by Daylight. That's crazy. We announced a board game that was funded in under 1 day on Kickstarter. That was an amazing job by our friends at Level 99. We've also consistently stayed within the 20 top games streamed on Twitch. All of that, and with our next chapter, we're going to now be at 59 characters in Dead by Daylight. But today, it's not about looking back. Today is about looking at the future. We couldn't be happier to have 50 million of you out there playing the game with us. And while there's still a ton of stuff to do, we want to focus on the things that are going to make their way into the game next year. In the past, we've used these anniversaries to share our dreams and to share our ambitions. And we dreamed big. It's our job to do so. Once in a while, these dreams ended up being bigger than what we were able to deliver. And we don't want to do that today. Today, our goal is to talk about what is actually going to happen within the next year and to give you precise timelines of when you can expect those changes. We're humbled by your passion and your support. Thank you so much for taking this trip with us through the last 6 years. And we have quite a lot more for you. Oh, and if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, you can actually play Director of Broadcast by voting in the chat and help us figure out which segments are going to come in what order. And speaking of which, here's a list of everything that we have in store for you today. Like I said, we want you to be in control of what we talk about next. You know what? Let's try it right now. Which one of these would you prefer to have? A, some free stuff. B, something really nice.
Thank you so much for joining us today in the celebration of Dead by Daylight's 6th anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, Senior Producer on the project, and I'm joined by Justin Brown, Senior Product Manager on the project. In today's panel, we will have a look at the upcoming content for next year, so Dead by Daylight's 7th year, the planned chapters, as well as our 4 main pillars for the game. Before we dive into that, however, this is a really good opportunity to look at our accomplishments from last year and talk a bit more about what we're particularly proud of or excited or happy that was released over the last year. For me, I'm always extremely impressed really left a mark on me. But that being said, year 6 was an amazing year when it comes to licensed content with the addition of Resident Evil, Hellraiser, and it really warms my heart to see all of those different characters.
The next would be the 2 brand new maps. It would be the Snowman event. All of the hilarious memes, movies, memories that were shared in that sort of holiday season was unbelievably amazing, and something I hope we can recreate again this year. Now, I'd like to take this moment just constantly having to update it due to urgent issues or new opportunities. Throughout this next year. There will be 4 new chapters, which means 4 new.
More about quality of life improvements and updates. You did talk it was met with a lot of mixed feelings from the community, and as such, we really looking at this year, but we want to make sure we do it in the best way possible.
As a live game, constant iterations in our design and live balance updates are
the main ones for the year. But our cornerstone events are going to be Halloween and Anniversary, since they're such big, important moments for the game. On top of those, we're also going to try and do more live activations, such as come back to the game and be more excited about playing Dead by Daylight more often, and be happy about the rewards we're getting through doing it. Throughout those 6 years. Thank you, everyone.
By Daylight fans. Horror. Now, it might seem weird that folks like us voluntarily seek out frightening entertainment, but it's actually very common and for good scientific reason. It is part of human nature to find pleasure in playing with fear. It's what kids do when they play hide and seek. Thirsty predator. Your whole body is in survival mode, heart racing to prepare you for fight or flight. Your prey, and the ecstasy of the hunt. It's that same adrenaline kick, but the reward is not the nerve-tingling relief of survival. It's the satisfying a primal desire for threat simulation, for playing with fear. About exploring.
The killer is coming, but the generator is
Hi there, I'm Matt, Design Director on Dead by Daylight. I work with Dave, the Creative Director, and the rest of the DBD game design team on everything from updating and balancing our existing content to the development of all our new chapters and game features. I'm really happy to be back with you once more for this 6th anniversary broadcast. The upcoming year is going to be a really an update on the changes to the Memento Mori system. One of the main goals for the game design team is to explore new ways that we can keep the player experience in Dead by Daylight fresh and fun for both new players entering our universe and for our highly engaged expert players with hundreds or even thousands of hours in the game. In listening to our players and reviewing our own data, we've found that some of the most consistent feedback is that in our high-level matches, meta perks have essentially taken over, meaning that players are consistently seeing the same perk loadouts again and again for every killer and every survivor. Looking at our data, there's a clear gap between the most popular perks for each role. On the killer side, these are Corrupt Intervention, Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, Barbecue and Chili, Hex Ruin, and Pop Goes the Weasel. And for survivors, Dead Hard, Decisive Strike, Borrowed Time, Iron Will, and of course, Self-Care. With little motivation to explore different perk loadouts, this can naturally lead to a feeling of gameplay becoming stale. Therefore, in the coming months, we'll be releasing a major update that will rework and rebalance roughly 40 killer and survivor perks, including the ones that I've just mentioned. This is aimed at eliminating these clear, dominant perk trends and strategies that we've been seeing in the game for a while. There will also be some small baseline gameplay adjustments that we would like to share with you a little bit closer to the release date. So, we'll keep monitoring With this upcoming focus on balance, we're also working on an update to make perks improve the quality of life, not only for our long-term dedicated players, will instantly unlock that character's Tier 1 personal perks on all other killers or survivors, making them immediately available in their loadouts. We know that our players are hoping that the RNG gods provide them with barbecue and chili in their early blood webs. However, with this feature, you simply prestige the cannibal to prestige level 1, 2, or 3 to unlock all of Leatherface's perks at the corresponding tier for every other killer. This will significantly reduce the grind and completely eliminate the random chance needed to acquire specific teachable perks through the blood web system. Of course, it's worth mentioning the prestige level won't be capped at just 3, so you'll be able to show your dedication to a particular character by raising them well beyond that. Additionally, the act of prestiging will not remove their perks, items, or add-ons, so there's no longer an associated reset of the character, if you will. For those who haven't yet prestiged their characters, we're also working on a fair way to still reward players for their time investment and dedication once this update takes effect. Fans can expect both the prestige and perk updates to drop around the same time during a major release this summer. Finally, I would like to close things out with some news on the Mori updates that we shared last year. While it's still coming, we have slightly adjusted our approach to the system based on research, feedback, and prototyping iteration. We've arrived at something that feels more straightforward, yet still accomplishes the same goals that we set out with. The change to the system will still remove the Mori ability from offerings, focusing instead on rewarding efficient killer play, but we'll be incorporating the Mori animation as more of a natural ending to the match. This is something that we're currently calling the finisher Mori. When a killer downs the last survivor standing, rather than drawing things out and having them pick up and hook the survivor, we'll instead transition immediately and automatically to the killer's Mori animation, allowing them to close things out in style and in a way that you would expect from an unstoppable killing machine. There's also a few other additional changes coming with this system that we're not quite ready to share yet, but we're hoping to release the new Mori system as part of our Halloween update this year, so look out for that. While we couldn't cover all of the details of these updates in the span of one segment, anyone looking for more information can head over to our website, deadbydaylight.com, following the broadcast. Thank you as always for the support. We can't wait to get these updates into your hands as soon as possible to see your amazing reactions. Thanks again, and see you in the fog.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the McMillan Estate for Dead by Daylight's 6th anniversary. I'm Justin, one of the senior product managers on the game.
And I'm Aurélie, producer on Dead by Daylight. And what a cool set we're on today.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I heard there's some traps around, but we'll be a little careful.
Yeah, we'll try.
So last year, Aurélie and I were here with all of you just to talk about the pillars for the year. But I think some other guys on the team have that covered. So this year, we're here to talk about the quality of life updates that are coming to the game for Year 7. And now, while it's always our goal to give you the most accurate picture of what's coming and when, the reality is that deadlines can shift as well as priorities. And we live in a pretty weird world these days, so there's a lot of external factors as well. So, I mean, that all being said, we are going to work to have the most open dialogue with our players. So if something changes, you can bet us, other members on the team, we are going to be communicating and let you know if something shifts, changes, removes, added, really at all. We're going to make sure that you guys know about it. That being said, let's get to it.
Yes, and that's really cool because today when you will open the PTB, the first thing that you will notice is this new vertical layout that we have. The idea behind this is we were running out of space with the current one, and we wanted to add more clarity and also make some information way more visible to players. Like, for example, some text in some languages, they will have more space, but also when we have an event or something happening in the game, now you will be able to see right away when you enter in the game what is happening and how long it will take. You won't have to go through different screens, navigate through the game to get access to this information.
And so I think if I can kind of nail down something cool for everybody is that I don't have to go into the archives to see how long is left in the Rift.
Correct.
I'll see it right on the main menu.
Correct. You will have the exact timer, how long it will take until the end of the Rift. And that's part of what will make just the navigation easier and the information easier to find in Dead by Daylight. Another feature that will be also available today for the PTB, and I think that one will be really appreciated.
I think so. I think this one is one of those that players have been asking for quite some time.
That's true. Yeah. So that's the preset loadout. In the loadout screen now, you will be able to have different saves, up to 3 for the moment, for your offering, perks, add-on, items. So you will be able to adapt your playstyle according to what you want to play.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you guys want to create one loadout for goofy perks, one for playing by yourself, one for playing as a team, you just change those with the press of a button. No longer are you looking through this whole inventory of perks that we have.
Correct. It will be your choice to decide between hardcore and casual games. Something else, you'll be also able to save loadouts for your cosmetics. So if you have different style and you're always like wondering which one to use, well, now it will be extremely useful, easy for you to switch between them. And for both the main menu and the preset loadout, we really think that the two features, they will bring more comfort and ease for the player. And we are really looking into feedback. So please, when you grab the PTB today, share your feedback about these two improvements. This will help you to create the best quality of life improvement in the future as well for you. But that's for today. So what is happening for the next upcoming releases?
Right. So for that, we've got some other upcoming features to share with everybody out there. So one of the main ones that we actually announced last year, as you remember, I think we were both there, was matchmaking incentives. So what we mean when we're talking about this is when players are matchmaking, we try to establish a good ratio of 4 survivors to 1 killer. And whether or not this ratio is imbalanced one way or another depends on your server, depends on your time of day. So what we are doing is we are providing players with extra blood points to play as the role that is most needed on their server at that time of day when they're online, which I think is going to be pretty useful for our players.
Correct. And with the new layout that we just mentioned, like it will be really easy for the player to see in front, like on which queue they should go if they want to have the less waiting time.
Exactly. As soon as you log in, you're going to know which role needs you the most. So if you're there for BP or if you're there just to have fun with your friends, I mean, really, we're giving you so many more options. I think it's going to be a great experience once this is introduced. Not even that, but while you're in this matchmaking, trying to get that incentive, we are doing what we're calling a game flow refactor. Very techie name, I know, but if we break it down, it's really giving you guys the opportunity to navigate around the game while you're waiting in the queue. So when you're waiting in matchmaking, with your friends alone, what have you, you'll now be able to browse the store, check out some really cool outfits, some other areas of game, and even check out the archives. So if you want to change your challenges or read some lore while you're waiting, that's all up to you.
Yeah, and I really love this feature because it feels like not a big change, but actually it will just bring so much comfort and remove so much frustration that I really like the fact that the navigation will be easy and you won't have any, it will be more comfortable for you to navigate.
And so now we're already making it more accessible to get to the archives for players by doing this, by putting the timer for the Rift on the main menu. But we're also doing some more updates to the archives coming later this year. So 2 of the main changes that I think players will appreciate right off the bat is now you can have 1 survivor active challenge and a killer active challenge. So no switching back and forth or anything crazy like this. No starting a killer match while having a survivor challenge equipped and feeling like you've wasted your time.
Actually, it will be super cool because with the matchmaking incentive you just mentioned before, well, if you see that the survivor queue is better for the moment, and you have a killer challenge on, you won't have to go back to the archive, switch the challenge just because you want to go to the survivor queue and lose time.
But you could queue, and then you could change it because now we let you. And so what would happen is as you find a match, we'll give you a notification full screen, let you finish whatever you're doing, and then bring you into the match. So I think that's going to be a very fun experience for players. But getting ahead of ourselves, one of our other big features that we're updating in the archives is your ability to view a full outfit within the Rift. So, I mean, I think we've both visited the Rift page quite a bit now that it's been out for a while. So now if a player selects a piece of a cosmetic from an outfit in that Rift, there's going to be an available button to click to view the full outfit as a preview. So if you're not keeping up to date with our amazing marketing trailers that are showing off all of these cool renders, you can view it from directly in the game. And then go watch the marketing trailer after, because they do a lot of work on these and they're very cool. Well, we're obviously trying to get a lot of these changes out for this fall in one of our upcoming archives releases, alongside some other yet-to-be unannounced archive stuff, which we're keeping a little hush-hush now. But it's the 3rd anniversary of the archives. So we're trying to put something really special together for you guys. But we've got another big feature in the works, and I think I'll let you spill the beans on this one.
Yes, and this one, I think, our player, you are going to love it. So we have decided, do you remember last year when we talked about bots?
Not at all.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will do. So when we talk about bots, actually this year, by the end of the year, we really want to introduce bots in custom match. So the idea here is we want to give the player, like if you're missing a friend in a group, if you don't have any friends at all, or if you just want to play chill and try to learn a new killer, well, you will be able to do that in a custom match and just fill out the matches with bots. So that will be extremely simpler for you to play. And we feel like for some player, it could be intimidating to play a new killer or to just learn a new one. And this will actually be a safe environment for them to try and remove the pressure that you can have sometime when you're in a real match.
For sure. And I mean, it's not just learning a new killer that can be stressful sometimes, but new maps as well, because the layouts can be entirely
True.
different. There's some new loops that you need to learn. So it's a great way for players to be able to practice those as well. Use an old killer, use old survivors as bots, and just try out whatever map you want.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And this feature is probably the longest one for timeline, and we're targeting this winter for this one to be out. And we can't wait.
I'm super excited for this one.
I am too.
I'm a bad killer, so I'm looking forward to it.
And I think you still have 2 features that you would like to talk about this today?
I do. So these ones are a bit smaller, but I think our players and streamers will also be interested on both of these. So the first one I'll discuss is what we're calling streamer mode or anonymous mode. Still undecided, still in development, so the name may change. But the basic premise of this is to make sure that all of our players feel safe as they're playing the game. So that we're obscuring your name or the name of your friends as they're playing, so that no toxic players or ne'er-do-wells inside or outside the game can find it and target you in some way.
And for the security, that's a huge plus as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just want our players to feel safe as they're playing our game, and we hope that this is a great tool to actually let them do it. Now, the other feature is, I guess, all about the survivors not feeling so safe, which is our updated wiggle system. So if you've been paying attention to Dead by Daylight, I know we have, talking to you, for the past few months, we've been testing out our updated system under our beta tab, so players were able to opt in and try it out. So whereas previously the wiggle system was mashing 2 buttons back and forth, keyboard controller, whatever you chose, now it's instead a skill check. So during the beta, we were all listening to a lot of our player feedback, so our design team has really taken that into account, and with those changes, we're going to make it a permanent feature in the future.
And on behalf of the team, really thank you for using the beta tabs. It was really, really useful for us to collect all this information and to see how you feel about new changes that we just want to make sure that all the changes that we introduce in the game are the correct ones.
Yeah, I know we all love the PTB, being able to try out new content, but this let us really bring in all of our console players who I know have been asking for a way, and all of their input, especially given that it was very controller heavy, is really appreciated.
And sometimes we just need more time also to get the feedback.
It certainly helps. So with all of these, we also have some other smaller features that we weren't really able to fit in here. So head on over to our website at deadbydaylight.com to read a bit more after the segment.
And we really hope you're excited about all the features that we announced today. I know we are, and we expect that you will enjoy this anniversary with us. And we hope you a very good Dead by Daylight experience here.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the broadcast, everybody.
Thank you.
My name's Jason. I'm a fog whisperer, and to me, Dead by Daylight is more than just a game. It's a lifestyle. I'm heading to a parkour gym to work with professional tag athletes. I want to learn how I can apply my DBD skills in real life.
Do you ever just crouch at the chaser to get them angry?
World Chase Tag is a team-on-team competition where one team throws in a chaser, one team throws in an invader, and the one rule is don't get caught.
So, in Chase Tag, are you using vaulting? Because in DBD, when I'm being chased, vaulting is a pretty powerful evasion tool.
Yeah, vaulting gives you a very easy way of getting an obstacle in between you or whoever's chasing you.
So, what about slow vaults?
What?
To see my full training adventure, head to the Dead by Daylight YouTube page later this week.
The killer is in pursuit. What do you do? A. Drop the pallet. B. Use dead hard. C. Loop forever. Or D. Crouch furiously.
Hello everyone, I'm Joe Ashley, the associate producer on Dead by Daylight. I'm joined by Xavier, our director, and also Rose, our project manager. A big part of what makes Dead by Daylight so great are the characters. And telling the stories is one of the best parts of our job. While a lot of storytelling is happened through lore, there's also a way for us to tell the story through the art and the visual. Today, we want to share with you a bit about the process of the collection that inspires us. We want to break some news about new announcement of our brand new collection we've been anxious to share with you guys for a while.
Yes, thank you, Josh. Well, let's take a moment to talk about like what's behind the several outfits and collection we provide to players during the year. So artistically, the approach is different when we work on our own contents and when we work with licenses. When we do our own, we often look this as a way to put our own spin to icons and events everybody's familiar with. A great example is the Halo Blight collection. It's really our take on Halloween. You know, rather than creating cosmetics around traditional vampires, witches, werewolves, we decided to do something more unique, to tell a unique story, and we have like our killers, we made them, more horrific due to a substance linked to the entity. The result, I think, is unexpected, more original. The lore and art direction have been reinforced at the same time, and we get to celebrate Halloween in a way that's very true to Dead by Daylight.
So on my side, the product goal is to create collections like this for all seasons. These collections would be something that we could return to and add to every year, but on our own terms, in a way that's creative for Xavier, but also not feeling like too generic or too easy.
Maybe Joash, you could share with us the different steps on the production to create these visuals.
Sure thing. So as you know, Rose got a good idea of what the type of collection that she wants. So afterward, I think the first step is to talk to the narrative team. The idea behind it is to make sure that we have a good idea and make sure also that it's kind of related to the character. So the cosmetic that we want is related to the character, the story background, and the lore. Afterward, we need to talk to the concept artists. They're the one who's going to put on paper pretty much with the art director and the concept art. To put on paper pretty much the idea that we want as cosmetics. So and also, this is the time for us to put in detail what we want, so meaning like the accessories, the detail, and the type of material that we want. Once we're done, the character team can use those concepts to start their modeling phase, so pretty much to have the 3D model ready.
So in the case of the Fire Moon Festival, we created this in tribute to the Mid-Autumn Festival that is celebrated in so many Asian countries. And it is our own DBD-specific event that boasts like concerts and celebrations that are surrounding the full Fire Moon. And it's a celebration of life and also a reflection upon death. So another part of creating this event ourselves was to be able to include a wider variety of characters into the collection. So, for example, those that didn't have an Asian heritage.
We should talk also about licenses, because today, right now, we have something really important to share with the fans. Right, Rose?
Yeah, indeed. So another interesting part of working on these collections is being able to work with existing licenses as well. So we're able to introduce new stories and other brands that we love also into the world of Dead by Daylight. Speaking of which, anime and mangas are widely requested from our fans around the world. And we're really excited to be able to announce today a new collection that's right around the corner, one that marks DBD's first major crossover with an anime title. So without further ado,
So many of us on Dead by Daylight team are big fan of anime, especially Attack on Titan. The process of creating new outfit based on the new collection based on Dead by Daylight has been really, really exciting. We're thrilled to be including 10 different outfits for both survivor and killers, and also we need to say some surprise for later on. I think we can still give some glimpse of the concept art for Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah. Because working on Attack on Titan was a great challenge, but really exciting one. First, we had to assimilate like the iconic aspect of the 2D art direction from the show and adapt it on 3D, making sure like the characters remain themselves even if applied on DBD characters. And because they are not legendary outfits, the goal was not to reskin them and transform them into something way too different from our more realistic art direction. So we then came with bigger eyes, etc. We felt it more like, okay, we could create like great cosplay of this character. Our mindset was more, what if our DBD characters were part of the Attack on Titan universe? And from who are they closer in their personalities and appearances? So it was really important for us to select some of our favorite characters from Attack on Titan, and so we could focus on some aspect of each to match our DBD personalities. We have Eren, one of the heroes of the show, and we have Dwight. Dwight, in a sense, is one of our heroes also on DBD. He's here since years, and we kept the details of Dwight, like having the iconic glasses, the messy hair, and even with the equipment of Attack on Titan, we made sure like the equipment isn't straight, and we have like nothing's perfect because it's Dwight. We have Angie. For her, it was easier because we have Zarina also, and it was a perfect match. She's a scientist that investigates on Titans, and with Zarina, like they are both very inquisitive and investigators that work well. To keep the details of Zarina herself, we gave her eye patch, but not the glasses because she doesn't wear glasses. The Armor Titan, he's there. We have it as an ultra rare cosmetic for the Oni. Yeah. And not only was a good match because we apply this skin in one of our largest killer of the game, but also we were able to use his crystal form for the rage mode. And while the base of the crystals are blue in the show, we tinge them with a red VFX to represent the traditional Oni blood rage for the game.
That's it for us. We hope you enjoyed the behind the look scene and also our new collection that we just showed you. Of course, we're going to keep an eye for more Attack on Titan news. Thank you.
心臓を捧げよう。
Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Richard, Creative Director on Dead by Daylight, and I'm super glad to be here today to share the newest content for our latest chapter, and of course, to celebrate the 6th anniversary of Dead by Daylight. The tradition is to tell you all the content that's going to be in the chapter. And this time, we're quite excited. We're changing the recipe a little bit, and we're doing an original chapter. So this new chapter is called Roots of Dread, and it's a full chapter. It contains a new survivor, a new killer, and a new map within a new realm of the entity. That's quite exciting. So the story for the chapter revolves around a town, a perfect town. Well, a town that seems to be perfect. But of course, the residents are hiding something terrible. They're hiding secrets and a darkness. And when that darkness starts to bubble up to the surface, it creates our newest killer, the Dredge. So let's talk about it a little bit. So the Dredge is inspired by the Boogeyman, a story that is global and is known around many cultures. It's a domestic fear. It's a monster that is really close to us, that is in our familiar environment, inside our house, under our bed, in our wardrobes. And that's the type of creature we wanted to feature and create. So it is the physical representation of the darkness of the whole town, of their secrets. And it is a weird and strange creature, a monster. It has an impossible biology, featuring various limbs, heads, different parts. It is emotionless, and it's impossible to plead for your life when in front of this creature. We wanted to make sure to create a visceral scare when facing this creature. It's a bit like when you're having a nightmare, and you know it was super scary when you wake up, but you can't exactly put your finger on what it was that you've seen. The visual design of the Dredge is quite unique. It's a first for Dead by Daylight killers. It's a monster, recreated by different limbs, different heads, claws, pincers, tentacles, and we wanted to make sure that you, the player, would be able to customize as you wanted this monster. What's really cool as well for the cosmetic is that we are able to explore themes that are organic, but also constructs, like this amazing cosmetic that features dolls. All right, now let's move on to the power of the Dredge. So when playing the Dredge, we wanted you to feel like you're the embodiment of darkness, of fear itself. We wanted to recreate that feeling of a monster that's really close to us, that lives in your house. And so there are two phases to the power. The first phase is the ability to use lockers to teleport from and to. So, of course, this is great for map movement. You'll be able to travel the map really quickly. But it's also great to surprise survivors that are nearby lockers, and even survivors that are hiding inside the lockers. The second phase of the power is called Night Cycle, and this is where it gets really interesting. So based on action the Dredge will make and some passive abilities, the Night Cycle will build on the survivor. When it is finally completed, Night Cycle will trigger, and a darkness will engulf the survivor. This darkness makes it very difficult to navigate, especially in chases. And the only thing the survivor can see in the distance will be the Dredge itself. So that's really creepy, and will for sure make the survivor make mistakes. Of course, the Dredge comes with 3 unique perks. We won't go into the details of these perks today, but I can say that they are themed around chaos, secrets, and corruption. Okay, now let's move on to our newest survivor. She's called Hattie Core, and you might know her from some archive entry that appeared in the past. She appeared 3 times in the archive, actually. So Hattie has a dual heritage. She is born in northern India, but was raised by her adoptive family in Quebec. And so this will be an interesting background to explore through her different cosmetic and also through future archive entries. Addie has a very unique ability to see bleeds. these are areas of the world where the entity's influence intersect with our world. And so Hattie had her share of paranormal adventures and encounters with dreadful beasts from the entity's world, strange creature. And actually, we can see on her body all sort of scratch and marks from these encounters. Of course, Addie will come with 3 unique perks added to the roster of abilities that the survivors are able to equip and use. These are themed around paranormal insight, proficiency with occult items, and her own temerity. And finally, let's talk about the map. So this time around, we're really excited to introduce a new realm for this chapter. So really, we are going back to the roots of horror, to a classic, something that we see numerous times into different horror novels, movies, and other horror material. And this is a small American town. So we wanted to make sure that we created something domestic, something familiar. And so for the Dredge map, called the Garden of Joy, we are featuring one of the houses of the perfect town that we talked about earlier. This house looks perfect from the outside. It is like a ghost sitting in the middle of a gloomy forest created by the entity. And when you go inside that house, you'll see how twisted and wrong it is, just like the residents that are hiding all of this darkness in secret. What's really cool about this new realm is that in the future, we will be able to explore it again, but in other contexts than in the Dredge perfect town. So this realm is built from different memories, from different characters. And so we'll be able to explore different cities wrapped inside that same realm. All right, that was the whole content of our newest chapter, Roots of Dread. I hope you are as excited as us to try this new content. And you'll be able to do so right after this event as we go live on the PTB. The chapter will become available to all on June 7th. So thank you again for listening today, and thank you for an incredible year of Dead by Daylight.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Dr. Italo Brown, emergency physician, and this is Dead by Daylight. All right, so why is this person sitting? Oh, now that's actually kind of dope. It looks like he was injured or something, and she came through and rubbed this man's back. Look, if we could start prescribing back rubs in the emergency department, I promise you, I would let the thing fly. Everybody, you get a back rub. You get a back rub straight up on some, Oprah level stuff. It's actually funny because there is evidence that back rubs help. They help physiologically. People say that it lowers heart rate, lowers blood pressure. Curative back rub for everybody, all right? Let's get it popping. Next video. Yo, I've seen it. All in your back. Wait a minute, bro. Oh, dude, no. Wait a minute. All right. I had to pause. One, this man got thrown on a hook. And I've seen this in a bunch of different movies. So it's really accurate. These like butcher hooks are real. Obviously, if someone ended up on one, it was intentional, in my opinion. From that angle, I'm pretty sure it's piercing, one of the ventricles of the heart, right? So the heart, we know it's like this, right? That left ventricle is kind of posterior and it sits to the side as if I took a football and held it, with the laces kind of downward, right? So if that goes through that left ventricle, man, he's dead. There ain't no pulling yourself up off of it. No, sir. I don't believe it. He's not walking away from this at all. That's a fact. If you're enjoying this analysis, make sure you head over to Dead by Daylight's YouTube channel for the full video later on this week, okay? Happy 6th anniversary, y'all. Peace.